Broncos country, it is Chiefs week. This is a game that everybody here in the Mile High City has had circled on their calendar. But I don't think many imagined that the stakes would be a lot higher for Kansas City as opposed to Denver in this one. Kansas City is fighting for their life in the AFC West. Their chances of winning the West for another year in a row are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. They have to win this game to stay alive for the West title. If Denver wins it, they can sweep Kansas City under the rug in terms of their chances of winning the AFC West. Denver is trying to become the first team not named Kansas City to win the AFC West since 2015, the year that they did it when they won the Super Bowl. And many people here in Broncos country are wondering, will they get their best player back for this game? Pat Surtain has been down ever since the Dallas Cowboys game with a pectoral injury. He's missed the last 2 games. Denver has done really well on the defensive side of the ball despite not having Surtain out there. But Kansas City is a completely different animal in terms of their passing attack, which is pretty much at full strength right now. I want to go ahead and bring in this tweet from Brandon Cristal of Guerrilla Sports. On KOA Radio, Surtain told Ryan Edwards and Nate Jackson rehab is going well, and he was at 46% the night of the Raiders game. That's a pretty specific number there. He was kind of half joking, but the translation is he's still at least a few weeks away. The timeline that was originally reported by Ian Rappaport was 3 games. He would be back for the Washington game after the bye week. I know that Broncos country wants Surtain back for this Kansas City game. But what if he goes out there and tears his pec fully? Then he's out for the remainder of the season, and you probably wouldn't be able to get him back for the playoffs either. So I would rather him miss this game and come back strong for the rest of this season and for the playoffs. Remember, we've got another crack at Kansas City at Arrowhead on Christmas night. So it's not like this is our only chance to beat the Chiefs this year. We can drop this game and then come back and beat them later on at Arrowhead and be just fine. I also want to go ahead and bring in this from Luca Evans. A huge part of the reason the Broncos have been able to survive in Pat Surtain's absence, safeties Talanoa Hufanga and Brandon Jones, their play and coverage has been really good this year. Combined, they've been targeted 47 times and they've allowed just 23 catches for 180 yards and a 50.0 quarterback rating. That is extraordinarily impressive. I believe that both of these players are going to play a key role in taking away Travis Kelce, also taking away Rashee Rice, and taking away Xavier Worthy as well. These safeties are going to play a huge part in this game. I've been watching some Chiefs tape, and they like to attack with crossers over the middle of the field, and safeties usually get in trouble when they're attacked with crossers, but our safeties have held up pretty well against deep crossing routes. That is one element of Kansas City's offense that our defense, I'm very confident, is going to be able to take away. Additionally, getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, especially early in the down. If you get pressure early in the down, you can get Mahomes on the ground. If you're not getting pressure until a little bit later on, that's when Mahomes can extend the play, do all the crazy stuff that he does both inside and outside the pocket. We don't want Mahomes to be able to do that. Historically, the Denver Broncos have done a pretty good job of slowing down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense. The problem is their offense hasn't historically been able to score enough points to keep up. I'm not counting that last game of the regular season last year, Week 18, where they were playing against a bunch of backups. Those weren't the actual Chiefs. That was like the JV squad of the Chiefs, if you will. Carson Wentz was their starting quarterback. Carson Wentz is very clearly not a starting quarterback anymore in this league. He was throwing to trash cans for receivers, literal moving trash cans, and his offensive line was a disaster in that game. So that game gets thrown completely out the window. But we look at the game at Arrowhead last season where Denver was able to generate a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and they were able to slow him down. The offense was able to come out to a strong lead. They got a 14-0 lead. Then they lost it, but on that final drive, the offense did their job. They went downfield and got Denver in a position to kick the game-winning field goal, and we all know what happened from there. I don't anticipate any special teams blunders from the Denver Broncos in this one. I feel like they've learned their lesson, especially going up against Dave Toub and the Chiefs. Toub is one of the better special teams coordinators out there. So I don't think we're going to see any of that. But Denver's going to have to be able to move the ball on offense. And more importantly, they're going to have to be able to score points. Even if our defense slows down Kansas City's offense, if our offense can't keep up, then we're screwed. I was watching the Washington game where Washington's defense for the first part of the game did a really good job of slowing down Kansas City. Unfortunately, their offense with Marcus Mariota in there at quarterback couldn't keep up. The same thing kind of happened in the Bills game where the defense was able to slow down Kansas City's offense, but Buffalo's offense was actually able to reward their defense. They were able to go on some nice drives, and that way their defense's effort wasn't for nothing. So we've got to play complementary football on all three sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams for all 4 quarters. We're going to discuss throughout the week if I think the Denver Broncos can do that, but I'm laying it out right now. That's going to be the Denver Broncos' game plan to winning this game. And quite frankly, even if Pat Surtain isn't out there, if Denver executes their game plan well, I think they can come away with a win, especially with this game being at Mile High, having the crowd, the energy, the atmosphere at the stadium, all that stuff. I think Denver's got a really good chance in this one, but the ball's in their court. They've got to play good football. Alright guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, if you guys want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. The link is in the description below. If you want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out and helping the channel grow, please consider it today. Alright guys, and until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.